Hey everyone, I'm Ashley, and this is Ashley Talks Movies, and for this video, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. So I'm not going to be talking about a movie or movie news like I usually do in most of my videos. This time around, I'm going to be talking about a new TV series. Yes, The Watchmen debuted on Sunday on HBO. Brand new series. It's based off of the Watchmen graphic novel by Alan Moore. But the series, which comes from Damon Lindelof and Nicole Castle, is a remixed version of that story. So it's not a direct adaptation like Lindelof has said before. It's loosely based. Takes lots of liberties from the source material. So, so the new series debuted, and I'm going to share my thoughts about it. So, lot to talk about with this new series, but I will say right off the bat that I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. There's a lot of things that work with it, and there's a lot of things that make me interested to know where they're going to go. So basically for this show, as I mentioned before, it's loosely based on the graphic novel. So there's references to characters from the original graphic novel, but most of the characters in this series are brand new. The show has the first episode I should say, has a wonderful, wonderful opening. It starts in 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the massacre, which is a real-life event. It happened. Hundreds of African Americans were slaughtered, were killed, and so that's where the episode starts off. So you have these parents, they're trying to get their child out, their son, and because shootings and people are dying, and so they find a way out for him, and it's just a small child. He makes it out with a note. His father writes, "Someone please watch over this boy." I'm paraphrasing it. I don't know if that's verbatim. I can't remember. But something along that lines. And then it goes from that to present day, 2019, Oklahoma, where a recurring theme coming from the massacre in 1921 to present day, race relations, racial tension is a big theme in this series. So, in this present day alternate reality, Robert Redford, yes, that Robert Redford, the actor, is president of the United States. He has been president for like 30-something years. He has instituted this policy of reparations for people who were affected by racial injustice, and so that causes even more tension in this alternate society. There's a group called the 7th Cavalry. They're a white supremacist group that attacks police officers, and so police officers in this alternative reality have to wear masks to protect their identity. They can't tell anyone they're police officers. It's all very, secretive and everything. So that's basically sort of where everything starts off in this first episode. So there's a lot to unpack. I'm not going to go into all the details of the first episode because I'm trying to keep the review spoiler-free. But that's basically the gist of it from the beginning. We meet Regina King's character, Detective Angela Abar, and there's some interesting layers to her character as well, which I'm not going to get into because, again, spoiler-free. But Regina King is so good in this show, which is a good thing because she's basically the lead character, the main character. But she's such a great actress. But in this episode particularly, she is just such a standout. I mean, what she does with this character, and as more is revealed about the character as the episode goes on, fantastic job. That's one of the things I really liked about the episode was the casting. So you have Regina King, who's the main character, lead character. You have Don Johnson playing her boss essentially, and he's good with what he does with his character. You have Tim Blake Nelson, who plays a character named Looking Glass. He does a really good job with that too. And again, I'm not going to give a lot away. And Jeremy Irons is in this episode, in this series, and he plays the introduction of his character is so odd, but also intriguing, and that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to in subsequent episodes, is finding out more about his character, because the introduction is so weird. So it's never explicitly said who his character is, who he's playing, but many, and myself, I'm included in this, are under the impression that he's playing Adrian Veidt, which I guess makes sense, considering the timeline, maybe. But yeah, his character is like shrouded in mystery, and the introduction to his character is really interesting. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to. So the acting is really great, cast is great. The score in this series, in the first episode, is so well done. So well done. So well done. The music that they have throughout the episode punctuates each scene so well. I wanna find the soundtrack. I don't know if they have the soundtrack for the series yet, but I hope they do, because I wanna listen to it again, because it's so good. And it really elevates the episode, really elevates those scenes. Another thing I really liked about the first episode is, even though there's a lot going on in the first episode, because there's so much world building in this first episode, which makes sense. You have to do that because it's the first episode. So there's a lot of character introductions, there's a lot of exposition. Although I will say, I do appreciate that exposition is not verbalized a lot. It's mostly shown. So that, I appreciate that. But there's so many layers to it that even though there's so much going on, it doesn't feel overwhelming. At least to me, it didn't. I mean, again, there's a lot to unpack, but I was willing to go along with it, because I know probably, well, eventually, as more episodes come out, a lot of the stuff that's set up in the first episode will be answered. Like, a lot of the questions set up in the first episode will be answered in subsequent episodes. So, yeah, lots of layers, but I'm interested to see where it goes. If you're a fan of the graphic novel, the original graphic novel, or maybe even the movie, I wasn't a fan of the movie, but I did like the graphic novel and I read it years ago. If you're a fan of either, there are lots of little Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the first episode that you'll recognize if you are a fan, or if you're familiar with the other source material. So yeah, overall, really, really, really solid episode. A really, really good introduction to what I hope is a really interesting, thought-provoking series. I like that, what they're doing with this alternate reality. I like that they're sticking with sort of the social commentary. Again, I said before, race relations, racial tension is an overarching theme. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Like I said, lots of things were thrown at us in the first episode, but I'm interested to see where they go with it from here on out. So let me know what you guys think about the first episode of The Watchmen. Did you like it? Did it pique your interest in seeing more? So are you looking forward to the series? So yeah, so let me know what you think in the comment section below. And while you're here, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button.